1964, Trump revokes it. You can put it right into Google. Go look it up because I was freaking out too. I was like, "What the?" And the story came out that Kristi Noem is already saying it's an archaic way of thinking, and they're finna repeal that shit.
Listen. It's like I said. It's different. It's one thing when they want to do something. I don't think they're going to be able to do that. I agree with Takesha. I'm looking at why he's going back. 22 Republicans. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
no, that's not it. I don't see what you're talking about.
Voting rights. Hold on, because I'm finna run it too. Rights.
I think you might be doing a little bit of liberal fear mongering.
60. I ain't fearing your shit. You already know. I said that motherfucker trying to take over the world, and I told you that. Executive order changes enforcement policy to significantly alter how civil rights are interpreted and enforced, which critics argue undermines their original intent. Key actions taken by President Trump related to Civil Rights Voting Act includes rollback of Disparate Impact Standard. President Trump issued an executive order directing federal agencies to limit the use of disparate impact. Revocation of 1965, January 2025, separate executive order revoked. Executive order 11246, signed by Lyndon B. Johnson, 1965. I mean, he's basically eroding the Voting Act. It's just more.
I don't disagree that he wants to and they're trying to. I don't agree with you that he's going to successfully be able to do it, though. I don't believe that.
I don't know. I don't like it either way it goes. I don't like him touching that shit because it's just like everything else you touch, it turns to shit. It's all bullshit. Just like the whole, oh yeah, he's trying to keep drugs, he's trying to keep smugs off the streets in America. No, he's not. He's not trying to do a damn thing but do exactly what we said he was. Be greedy and get some oil. That's all he doing, man. What other reason could he have for that?
Yeah, the whole capturing of the oil tanker is, yeah, to me that makes it pretty damn obvious that this isn't about drugs. I mean, like I told Maga Reacts and many of the other callers, Venezuela's. I mean, we've been watching drug movies ever since Scarface and New Jack City and all this shit. Venezuela was never known. Miami Vice is another. You never heard Venezuela come up as a drug capital. I mean, they do not like Maduro, and they just are basically making up a reason to find things wrong with that country. I mean, there may be some drugs coming out of that country. I'm not going to disagree with that, but as I said earlier, you could turn Venezuela into a sheet of glass, and it would not stop any. Nobody in America would have a problem getting high. Most people in this country are not getting their drugs from Venezuela.
Well, either way, the other problem I have is him doing this shit with the Somalians. That they're coming from a trash country. This is bullshit in the first offense, I would say, because I'm in Minnesota watching this shit happen live. Well, I was. I'm in Flint right now, but in Minnesota for the last 2 or 3 weeks, watching this happen left and right. As soon as he said that shit, black trucks pull up, Bearcat pull up, snatching people out their jobs, snatching people out of the damn store.
Isn't most of them here legally though?
Yeah, 95% of them are here
So
legally.
what is the purpose of ICE to just go there, check them, and let them go?
Exactly. Exactly. That
Yeah,
that's and that's the sad part because you screwed these people's lives over, especially the ones that they were pulling out of work. Because I'm literally talking about they were pulling up to jobs, their job, and yanking them out their job. These people who own stores, they're pulling them out of the store, own restaurants, right out the restaurant. Like, come on, man, what are we doing here? It's
yeah.
Gestapo
I
like.
don't. Yeah, other than just not liking him, I don't get that. If you look, even if you do believe that they're committing fraud, I think PPP loan fraud or something said they were committing or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
no,
the difference
they said
between
they were trying to. He said they were trying to do. They were trying to fraud the welfare system, which is bullshit. Because a lot of those people aren't on welfare. First of all,
well, let's say even if what Trump said was true, where he even if what he's saying is true, where they're trying to defraud the welfare system or whatever, if they're citizens of the country, that's now a crime you deal with in the courts, but it's not ICE related. I mean, President Trump, Christy Nome, and all of them, they would have to know. Larry Holman, you don't see him as much, but Larry Holman, all of them would have to know that most of these folks in this area that are Somali are here legally. Sending ICE to this town is a waste of time. You're not going to end up deporting anybody. These are all legal migrants. If they're here defrauding the system, then you send in the IRS or whatever and go at them for that. But there's no deportations going to come out of because a lot of them were born in America. You're not going to get any of them out of here.
I'm not gonna go hard on you tonight because I'm over my mama house. I'm gonna save you from that. The next time we talk, I'm gonna cuss your ass out. And MAGA reacts again. I'm gonna tell you to keep my name out your fucking mouth. You don't know me. You don't know shit you talking about, and all you do is twist like a freaking pretzel. Don't start. Stay off my bad side. I'm trying to be cool, King, today. You're gonna fuck with me, and I'm gonna end up cussing your little weak ass out too. And I've told you plenty of times, you have an open seat anytime you want to debate me, and I will crush you like the roach you are. Okay? Flat out. You're a fucking roach. Stay your Egyptian ass in that trailer park you in. Stop talking facts, because you have none.
You know, some would say your comments almost sound like you're racist.
I don't give a shit what they sound like. That roaches for raid don't get no respect. Okay? How you a roach praying for raid? You gets no respect. Obviously, you want the motherfucking bottle or the boot. One of the two. The fuck? No, I didn't say your raggedy ass name. No, I didn't.
Yeah, he responds by saying, "You said my fucking name. I wouldn't." He said, "I wouldn't waste my time saying your name."
I didn't. Hey, listen. I didn't say that raggedy motherfucking name. Tell him to go find his store. They waiting for him. Thank you. Come again.
All Peace. Right. I'll leave it at that. All right, King. Appreciate it. Moving on with the program. What did I say here? Oh, looking at the comments here. Yeah, that's it. Trump wants to take over the country and run it for the rest of his life and then pass it on down to his sons. What do you people smoke? I don't know if you're being honest, if you're being sarcastic when you say that or whatever, but one of the things I say about President Trump all the time is you can't complain when people accuse you of something when you constantly are saying it. I mean, he's selling Trump 2028 hats. I mean, he's posting pictures of himself wearing a crown. You know, he's just trolling the Democrats. He's just, well, look, if you're going to put yourself in that light, that you're somehow going to be the president for another term, he's been questioned about it, and he was saying, I haven't thought about it, and there's a lot of people that want me to. I mean, okay, so if you're not giving a definitive no, the Constitution does not allow me to run a third term. I don't want to run a third term. If you're beating around the bush and shit when you're questioned about it, then you can't blame people for saying that you want to be a third term president or a king or something like that. His language is not even excluding it. Like Ghislaine Maxwell, for instance, I bring that up all the time. When he was asked, will he pardon Ghislaine Maxwell? Well, I really haven't thought about it. I could. Why not just say no? This woman is a serial pedophile. No, I would never pardon her. I'm a law and order president. I'm arresting drug dealers. I'm actually in favor of the sanctity of protecting children. I wouldn't pardon the pedo. Why not answer it like that? He's put her in minimum security and shit like that. So when the liberals start accusing him of this stuff, the right starts saying you got Trump derangement syndrome and you guys just this is how he's responding to this stuff. He's not giving definitive, hell no, I would never do something that crazy type answers. He's giving these answers that lead people to speculate. Maybe he is thinking about it. He said no about running in 2028. He's said answers all over the place there, Tom. He's also selling Trump 2028 hats. In fact, he's the White House store. There's a store that sells, I got like shirts with the White House symbol and shit on them right here next to me. Sometimes I wear them with the White House logo and shit. Like, you can buy towels, t-shirts and all that. You can buy hats at the White House shop. They sell Trump 2028 hats at the White House shop, and Trump has taken dignitaries into the shop and showed them the hats. Why would you do that? Why would you take a dignitary or a leader of a foreign country and show them a 2028 hat? You're giving them the impression that you may be around in 2028. He's not clear on that. That's all I'm pointing out. He is not giving clear answers on that, which is why he's opening up the door for speculation. Trump is, in fact, the best president of our lifetimes. Reagan was decent, but controlled by George W. Bush. I'd have to ask, something, and you're not the only one to say that, Indiana Paul, but my response is this. If Trump is the best president of our lifetime, Give me a couple things that Trump has accomplished that 40, 50 years we're going to still be talking about. Because if you're really good, people are going to be talking about you for a while. What is President Trump accomplished that, you know, when we're gone, people will still be talking about? Something big. Now, I do believe if Trump didn't take it away, Obamacare is something we'd be talking about for a while. People will be using that for, in fact, Trump is going to have to replace Obamacare with something. It may not be called Obamacare, but fact is, Obamacare has put something in place that people are dependent upon. You can't just take that away. It just won't be called Obamacare. But if Trump didn't destroy that, that's something that Obama accomplished that will be talked about for you. What has Trump done 30, 40 years from now? The only things I could think of that Trump has done, Space Force will certainly be around. And he should get credit for Operation Warp Speed, but because of how he rolled it out, he can't. But Operation Warp Speed, according to the scientists, responsible for saving millions of lives. But other than that, what has Trump done? Why are people calling him the greatest? What has he did? He's made liberals cry. I get that. He's pissed off a whole bunch of immigrants, black and brown people. But is that an accomplishment? So let me know if you're saying that he's going to be the best president ever. Forbes magazine declared Trump as the most healthiest president in U.S. history, suggesting we'll do a third and fourth. Okay, but what has he accomplished? For people are calling him the best. I want to know what has he done to give him the title of the best. Watch Hannity. He is giving the green light to JD and Rubio for 2028. Also, Meet the Press. He said, no, what you're saying isn't true. You're taking into account when Trump said no, but you're ignoring all of the times when he gave flaky answers or said he could. He didn't always say no. The 2028 hats are everywhere. He definitely did not flat out say, I would never run for a third term. That has never been said. He may have changed his tune and started saying it now, but he has absolutely indicated that he could run for a third term. I haven't thought about it yet. You know, there's a whole lot of people that want me to do it. He didn't say no. And I know because I used to play videos about him doing it. What wars has Trump started since Indiana Paul? Trump has started several wars. The only reason we're not at war is because he started wars with countries that are too weak to fight back. 7-foot guy punches you in the face and you don't want to fight back because the guy's too fucking big and strong, you just let him get away with it. He actually started a fight with you. Just because you didn't hit back don't mean he didn't start a fight. You just backed down because you didn't think you could win. Trump has started a war with Iran, Syria, Yemen, Venezuela. Those are wars. I mean, when you start blowing up people's shit and killing folks, those are wars. Those are things that if somebody did to America what Trump did to Yemen, what Trump did to what he's doing to Venezuela, those would be acts of war. If somebody did that stuff to us, we would go to war with them for it. Like I said, it's like a 7-foot guy hitting you in the face and you just decide it ain't worth it to get in the fight back. That don't mean he didn't start a fight with you. That just means you didn't defend yourself because you didn't think you could. Trump has started a war with several countries. Vance runs Trump as I don't get what that means there. But if you ask me which wars am I speaking of, I just gave them to you. If we were having boats bombed off the coast of the USA, like Colombia and Venezuela are, that would be an act of war. We would fight. We would go to war for that. If you seize one of our oil tankers, we would be willing to use the U.S. military and go to war to get that back. Captain Phillips, that Tom Hanks movie with the pirating, the Navy came out there and got that shit back. We were willing to go to war for that. So we would go to war for that stuff. It's just Trump is picking on weaker countries and they just ain't fighting back. But he is hitting them in the face. People died when we bombed Iran. Iran's nuclear program. I mean, those are war. Those are acts of war. They just ain't fighting back. Venezuela started the drug war with the U.S. Venezuela ain't started a drug war with America. Oh my God, that's crazy. I don't even know what to do with that. If you're going to say Venezuela started a drug war with America, then I guess you're going to say that there's a host of countries that have sold drugs to America. Why only Venezuela? There's a host of countries that provide drugs to this country. Calm down. Even Republicans wouldn't be in favor of him running in 2028. We aren't as deranged as the left is. I disagree with you 100%. There are a host of Republicans that would be a fan of Trump running in 2028. Listen, J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, who else? Is there anybody on the right that would get the same amount of love, support, and adoration of Trump? I think the right would prefer to have Trump in as a third term over any of those folks. None of them are going to get the same support, have the same amount of power as President Trump. If Trump is replaced by J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Don Jr., the party gets weaker because everybody ain't going to fall in line behind any of those folks like they do Trump. So the idea that nobody would want Trump to run a third term, that's flat out false. People are making a killing financially because of the power he has, the stock market. There's people in the Marjorie Taylor Greens. There are plenty of people making money like that. The idea that nobody would want Trump to run a third term, that's crazy. I absolutely disagree with that. I say we get rid of the American government and replace it with what, John? Trump? What are you going to replace the American government with? People will hate Trump. There's some people who don't like him now. MAGA supporters can't take off their knee pads. Yikes. I strongly recommend you fact check the casualties stemming from the nuclear strikes. I don't care if it's 0 casualties. If you start bombing within the sovereign territory of the United States, that's an act of war. Even if everybody survives, you're launching strikes within a sovereign nation. That is an act of war. You don't have to kill anybody to do that. That alone is an act of war. And we've done that to Iran. His base alone can't elect him in 20. That I agree with that. No, his base alone cannot elect him. But I do believe there's plenty of MAGA that would love to see Trump run a third term. USA Today and Chicago Tribune stated that Barack Obama and Jose Medino are the 2 most disgusting and useless presidents in the history of the world. I would have to, out of all of the presidents we've had, Obama? Who else? Joe Biden. You're saying the USA Today and the Chicago Tribune stated that Barack Obama and Joe Biden are the 2 most disgusting and useless presidents in the history of the world. Now, I don't believe that unless it's an editorial, somebody that wrote in their opinion, but when we talk about the worst, you're putting Biden and Obama against Stalin? They're worse than Hitler? They're worse than Mao? Really? That's laughable. It is clearly a divided country. To say he's the best is obviously delusional. A lot of folks believe President Trump was the best president we've ever had. You figure you would learn from the first time, John, I guess, to see that when the world sees your Putin's bitch, you go find a 4 or 5 got a punch. Yeah, that's a good point. When Trump came into power, it's pretty clear that he ain't controlling Putin. In fact, I was one of the ones on the program that was giving President Trump credit. I actually did believe when he said he could stop the war in 24 hours. I was like, maybe not that fast, but I believe that Trump would be a much better person at ending the Russia-Ukraine war than Kamala Harris. I say because him and Putin have a good relationship. I did believe he could do it pretty quick. It's almost been a year, and he hasn't came. In fact, he's telling Zelensky to back down. He has no control over Putin. 0. He's telling Zelensky to just give Putin basically what he wants. So, certainly me, but maybe many of you certainly overestimated the relationship between Trump and Putin. Putin ain't doing shit that Trump is asking. He's actually telling Zelensky, you ain't got the cards. You need to just give up a certain amount of your country because you're going to lose anyway. So I didn't expect Trump to fail at that one. I thought he was going to succeed at that, but he's done terrible with ending that war. We should have built that wall in 1400. These Wasai chew under. What the hell are you talking about? They don't have a good relationship. This is a lie. Yeah, they don't have a good relationship. I thought they had a good relationship, though. Obama and Hillary were Putin's bitch, please. Yeah. If you think Obama, you got to throw Trump in there as well, I suppose. Cartels sending large speedboats full of fentanyl to the United States shores is not an act of war. The Venezuelan people are begging for Trump's help. No, it's not an act of war sending drugs to the country. If the country, look, the drugs that are coming into America are not being forced on anyone. America wants those drugs. Just like the amount of guns that are going into Mexico. Are those guns, the cartel is armed because of America. So you're going to talk about their drugs coming over here and Americans dying at the hands of their drugs. Well, our guns going over there are killing them people. Are we declaring war on them because of that? No. Because at the end of the day, the drugs that are coming to America, can you prove that the government is doing that? Or is it factions within their country that's doing that? No, it's not. No, they're not declaring war on them. You're saying by them having drugs come to America, that means the whole country is declaring war on America. That's crazy. No, that's stretching what a declaration of war is to justify some bullshit. We've always had drugs coming in this country from other places. We've never considered that as a declaration of war. That's fucking crazy. New York Times and Wall Street Journal requested Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden. I don't know where you're going with that. Trump is Putin and Israel's bitch. MAGA are Trump's bitches. Jesus. Anyhow, folks, I do appreciate the 145,000. As always, you guys know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We will remain MAGA friendly, as always. Anytime you want to come up on the program, as I said, we will certainly be on throughout the week. So if you enjoy this type of dialogue from all sides of the aisle without any concern of the host trying to block, ban, or censor you, because we are MAGA friendly. We may not agree with everything MAGA says, but damn it, I do believe MAGA should be allowed to speak, and we don't ever censor anyone on the program, regardless of what side of the aisle is on. What do we say? We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. Favor this type of dialogue? Feel free to follow the program if you're currently watching on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. And if you're watching on YouTube, give your boy a sub. Until then, I'll see you folks mañana.